A religious leader predicted the world would end this year.
Ultimately, that's what they all think, that one day there's going to be the super AGI.
The streets is talking and they saying that Erica...
Today I'm going to show you a typical Sunday morning as an American living with his family in Shenzhen.
What up, man? Giving you another react. Got you some of the creepiest TikToks I found all over the web. Make sure to sit back, relax, observe, and let's get into it, y'all. Roll the clip.
I think y'all better pay attention to what's going on, because that volcano that erupted in Ethiopia hasn't erupted in 12,000 years. That shit was not supposed to happen. That volcano that erupted hasn't erupted since anybody on this earth lived on this earth. Mind you, this volcano just erupted out of the blue. So you telling me after 12,000 years, this shit just randomly erupted? Does that make sense to you? Villages completely dark. Numerous animals died. Ash shot almost 10 miles into the air. Mind you, this volcano is about 500 feet all the way up into the sky. This is the same volcano that erupted before the end of the Ice Age. This is the same volcano that erupted before... You ain't just hear what I just said, right? Mind you, 40 other volcanoes erupted simultaneously. Now jump down that rabbit hole. What just happened in Europe? That volcano that was in Europe, that shit erupted too. The earth is definitely giving signs right now, and those signs do not look good. And I heard somebody mention this, but do you remember what the prophet said about fire rising near the Red Sea? Where's Ethiopia? I see everybody worrying about what technology gonna do, but you gotta remember this. There were civilizations that lived before us, and they didn't have the technology we had. But it seems like they knew way more than what we did. And if those prophecies are true, this volcano erupting, it's not a good thing at all. Pay attention.
Trying to get attention. He really sounded like someone who was tired of going through the same loop over dying again, and again. We all seen Final Destination. That's what that remind me of, fool. You can really hear the fear in that man's voice. That's why I know this man is not going crazy, fool. He must really went through the same loop. So let me ask y'all a question. If you was on that flight and you heard someone say that, are you gonna stay in your seat, or are you getting up and you're exiting the plane? Because I already told y'all what I'm doing.
This world was created by a thought. Existence itself had to process during the unknown. It made itself known in the system, what we know today as the universe. In order to process this thing had to take all of its essence to create what it knows as existence. So if you're trying to find the creator is what is. It takes many forms and many objects, which can be everything that you see. That's why it's hard to find what they call is God, because God is not just one thing. God is everything that you...
These things we don't have to get used to seeing, bro. Even robot cops, bro, dressed up like police in police clothes. These are things we gonna have to start getting used to. Robots getting ran over by damn Escalades, SUVs, right? Cops not having their jobs no more in the streets. Like pretty soon, it's not gonna just be your standard traffic robot cop. Pretty soon they gonna really be out here. They even dressed up like this, bro. You gotta be kidding me. We gotta talk about this, bro. This damn robot is walking down the street carrying a bird cage. That's crazy, bro. And yeah, these people are controlling these robots, obviously. But they also have the robots that collect data and could do it on their own. They don't have to control them. All they gotta do is just type out some stuff, that's right, program it, and it'll be good for the day. It could do what it's supposed to do without the man controlling it, bro. They're showing this stuff, man. This stuff is really out here. Skynet is upon us, bro. There's a good chance that these damn things can come to life and start killing niggas. Yo, bro, that's gonna be crazy. Yo, I do this for educational and entertainment purposes only, man. I don't get why people want this. I don't get it. Leave it in the comments, hit the like button, make sure you follow me here for more, man. Salute.
What has been happening when people die here since 10,500 BC? Most of them get hijacked. As soon as you die, your consciousness starts to raise in frequency and your body starts to drop in frequency until they separate and sever. What normally happens is your consciousness keeps raising in frequency, and then it will go up and connect to your D5 level of self. That's where you see the light at the end of the tunnel in near-death experiences. That's when you're connecting with the center of your soul matrix in D5. What these wormholes and the people who run them have been doing is they have been literally sealing off the ability to make that transition out of this planetary system into the next density level. They have been siphoning off people when they die and dragging them in the Phantom Matrix. There's a whole bunch of them there that know this is the time they can get out. And after this time, that matrix is going to be closed. It's going to be literally probably millions of years before anybody tries to go back in there, because it's a place that almost took this matrix down, trying to save it. So right now, there's a whole bunch of people, and people that aren't in bodies anymore, that are trying to get the heck out. So if we start to see tragedies and things happening.
Israeli soldiers buried Palestinian children alive. In mass graves, they buried Palestinian children alive. There are reports of Palestinian children with their hands tied, restrained behind their backs, being forced into mass graves by the bulldozers that dug those graves. There are eyewitness reports saying that the muffled screams of these children could be heard while these bulldozers poured dirt over their bodies to suffocate them, to literally bury them alive. Dr. Mark Perlmutter, an American surgeon volunteering in Gaza, received multiple eyewitness reports from Palestinians that bulldozers were being used to bury children alive in mass graves, and he intends to submit these testimonies to the International Court of Justice. There is also a UN report from 2024 that noted that the bodies of children were found in multiple mass graves, some showing signs of torture, others showing possible indication of being buried alive. That includes locations like Nasser Hospital, El Shifa Hospital, where mass graves were found containing the bodies of hundreds of Palestinians following Israeli withdrawal. And among the bodies in those graves were women and children, many women and children. And these bodies were found tied, with their hands bound, completely stripped naked. And many of the bodies were unable to be identified because of such massive levels of abuse and signs of torture. And among those bodies, buried in the mass grave of the hospital courtyard, were 2 children reportedly buried alive. Later excavation of the site corroborated the eyewitness testimonies of these 2 children being forced into the grave by the bulldozer that then buried them under dirt and rubble. Their bodies were found in the same red and green shirts they were buried with their hands tied behind their backs. These children were buried alive by Israeli forces, and they're likely not the only ones. There are still tens of thousands of missing children in Gaza. How many of them were buried alive as well?
Thank you.
We're already at target place.
I keep telling y'all, stop eating these processed foods. It's gonna mess around and send you to your maker. So apparently the truth about Campbell's soup is out. And allegedly they've been selling chicken that ain't chicken. You heard what I just said? The chicken that they're putting in the soup, allegedly that chicken is not chicken. Matter of fact, look at this shit. Listen to this shit.
Poor people. Who buys our shit?
You heard that?
I don't buy
Listen.
barely anymore. It's unhealthy. Now that I know what the f*** even in a soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat.
You hear that?
I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
If you heard that video, he said, allegedly, that he doesn't want anything that came out of a 3D printer. Allegedly, he said the chicken is bioengineered meat. And to top it off, he said their products are for poor people. And that was the vice president of Campbell's. That tells you everything you need to know about how they feel about you. It may look like chicken. It may taste like chicken. But you heard what he said. They're saying that rant was well over an hour long. So you know he had way more to say than that. Do what you want to do with that information. I'm out.
Wow, 3D printed meat. It was all this time. What do y'all think about that? Spam it up in the comments, y'all.
This is crazy. We just learned that ICE has arrested a member of Caroline Leavitt's family and she might be deported to Brazil. Trump's awful immigration policy is now impacting a member of his team personally. Her 11-year-old nephew's mother, Bruna Ferreira, is now in custody at an ICE facility in Louisiana facing deportation to Brazil. Ferreira is the former fiance of Michael Leavitt, the press secretary's New Hampshire-based brother. They had a son whom they raised together before they split. A source familiar with the matter said the individual is the mother of Caroline's nephew. They have not spoken in many years. The child has lived full-time in New Hampshire with his father since he was born. He has never resided with his mother, which is not true because a 2014 article in the family showed that the couple was living together with their son. The family was also photographed together. Then Trump's administration tried to claim that Ferreira had a previous arrest for battery, but WBUR could not find any details of battery charges against Ferreira in Massachusetts, and they have not responded to requests for comment. A GoFundMe has been set up for her by her sister. It's now raised $14,000 of its $30,000 target, but I'm sure with all of this coverage, it will surpass that. I don't know how you can be Caroline Leavitt and defend the mother of your brother's son getting deported, but I'm sure that she will defend it.
All of your data was mined during COVID. And artificial intelligence it doesn't take a break, it doesn't cook, it doesn't clean, it doesn't sleep. It just scours the internet for every bit of human information. And we are now at the point, we've created it, but also we are merging with it. So we all have cell phones in our hands. We all have trackers on our bodies. Any bit of data that artificial intelligence, we're driving Teslas, like it's slow, but it's fast. This merger.
What's up, Jim? I'm at McDonald's in Kansas City, Missouri. Which one? What fucking difference does it make? They're all serving humans today. Did everybody not fucking know they've been serving 1 billion humans since the beginning of motherfucking time? But if you don't want humans, why don't you just go ahead and order some autism, some fentanyl, and some fucking obesity for your children? You said there's not fentanyl in the McDonald's substances. Are you fucking sure, Jim? Do you put that on your motherfucking kids, bitch? Put it on your wife, your dog. I'm gonna kill your dog right now, Jim. You parents need to cook for your children. You're fucking lazy.
A religious leader predicted the world would end this year, but he made that prediction over 25 years ago. Yeah, 25 years ago. This man, whose name I can't pronounce, predicted the world would end by 2025 in a book he wrote in the year 2000. Then he disappeared before it was published in 2001. And no one has seen or heard from him since. He disappeared in London, England. The book predicts that a comet will come and hit the Earth by the end of this year. And that got me to thinking about a comet that's been skeet-scat and shab-dabbing all over the place lately. The 3-Eye Atlas. Is this the comet that he predicted would smack-a-doo into the Earth? I don't know. No one can ask him because nobody knows where he is. But I guess we'll all find out if it doesn't happen in the next 6 weeks or so. Okay, Booshkies, I just wanted to share this with all of you. Shabadoo, Booshkies. Shabadoo.
So the government says that the Epstein files are a hoax, but the hoax, which doesn't exist, is also a threat to national security. Okay, sounds great. I just want to remind everybody, I voted for this shit. And I just want to say the same day he signs the Epstein bill, he threatens to execute members of Congress. Do you see it, guys? He's a master of psyopry, and that's all anybody's talking about now is the fact that he's threatening to kill people. And guess what? We're not talking about the Epstein files anymore. Well, I am. Peace, blessings, and shut the fuck on.
So please tell me y'all saw the dude from My Chemical Romance, I think his name is Gerard, morph into a demon mid-performance at his concert a couple days ago. If you didn't see it, trigger warning. If you're easily scared, click off the video right now. But this is what he looked like. Yes, this is that same man. Complete morphing into a demon, a reptilian, if you will. This is what he morphed into. And we see these a lot with these celebrities, these musicians on stage. They will somehow trigger a
alter ego, and then they will morph. And now here's the video for context. But it was twice. I don't know if y'all saw initially, he morphed, he went back to himself, and then he morphed again at the end of that little clip. And we see these things happen so often. I'm not very familiar with My Chemical Romance. I don't know any songs by him. What I do know is that I believe he makes it's like heavy metal music and like that rock star type of stuff. And we know that the demons heavily influenced that kind of music, all music, but for sure that kind of music. And so if you are listening to this and you should probably stay away from things like this, because when people start to morph into demons, that means that they are being inspired by demons, if not an actual demon.
The future is ours. Every ideal nightmare of a Muslim Europe will come true. They can be as mad as they want. I don't care. America will be a Muslim country. Russia will be a Muslim country. Islam will enter every house, inshallah. But we have to be a part of that change and never, ever apologize. We're unapologetic. Never, ever compromise. We're uncompromising.
When people say that Islam is not compatible with Western society, with a pluralistic society, this is exactly what we are talking about. You have this imam who is just casually saying in the UK out loud that America is going to become a Muslim country, Russia is going to become a Muslim country, that Islam is going to enter every house. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I hear that, I don't think of a missionary project. I don't think of Islamic proselytizing. I don't think of him referring to Muslims converting people over to Islam through love and acceptance, which, by the way, is not really a large factor in the growth of Islam. It's primarily driven by high birth rates. But he's clearly not talking about faith or personal belief. He's referring to a political takeover. His language is the language of conquest, and that is the language of people who think that the West is weak enough for them to come in and replace. The United Kingdom, where this imam is saying this, proves why they feel so bold enough to say this. Look at what's happening there. Nobody in America gets told any of this, but in parts of London and Bradford and Birmingham and Luton, the police won't even enforce basic laws if it risks community tensions. They have totally redefined the definition of Islamophobia to include race when Muslim is not a race. Their politicians have no backbone. They have no spine. They have entire neighborhoods where extremist preachers literally have more influence than the parliament. There are schools where kids are bullied for being too Western. Politicians as well as police and authorities have openly admitted that they don't talk about this, they don't say a word because they're terrified of offending the wrong people. It has gone beyond the idea of diversity. It has become a cultural surrender, and I'm sorry, the UK's done. There is no recovering from what has happened to the UK. And I already know that people are going to come in and say, oh, well, this imam doesn't represent all Muslims. Obviously, I know it doesn't. Most Muslims, or at least a lot of them, don't want any part of this ideology of the takeover, but this is the strain of political Islam. This triumphalist, we're going to dominate the West mindset is very real, and pretending that it doesn't exist is, again, exactly how the UK got caught flat-footed in the first place. Every warning was dismissed as racist or Islamophobic until the reality became too obvious to hide. And by the way, since the 60s, the UK's public opinion have continuously shown that they reject the influence of Islam in their society, and that they think the immigration policy has been horrible, and they think that too many people have been coming into their country and their politicians did nothing. And I'm sorry, but this whole we're never going to apologize, we're never going to compromise, never water anything down in our religion, it's not religious devotion. It is, again, political absolutism. That is a vision of society where pluralism does not exist, where you cannot disagree, where you do not coexist with people, you overtake them.
This is for educational and entertainment purposes, but everything my man just said, he made a lot of valid points. What do y'all think about that, man? That's some pretty crazy news. Spam it up, y'all.
We need to study symbolism. Amazon is a Mason. And what's even crazier, if you go to the image of Jeff Bezos creating Amazon, you see on his desk Amazon.com, but what's even more interesting, you have the number 33, like the 33 degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. 33 is the number of death and rebirth, hence why it's in the triangle. The upright triangle is fire. Fire burns things down into its raw form. Then it can be transformed. So this is what the number 33 truly represents in the occult. It represents transforming yourself by destroying your old self to then to be spiritually reborn. It's all hidden in plain sight.
Don't look at me crazy. I like it. I think it's cool.
PSA for all the idiots out there that think you're proving points by showing us what your trained AI bot is saying when you ask it questions. Yes, trained. The AI that you're using is trainable, and what it does, analyze you, your behaviors, how you interact with it. It figures out what you want to hear, and it spits it back to you, but makes it sound more educational, more intelligent, more digestible. You're not proving any points. The only thing you're showing us is how big your fucking ego is and how you love to feed it. You love to feed your ego so much that you're posting conversations with a bot that you trained, whether you know it or not, to say the things it's saying just to make you feel better. That's crazy work.
They told you it was science fiction, a box of flickering images. But the Matrix wasn't a story. It was a warning. It was a documentary. Everything you thought was real, your streets, your skies, your choices.
Welcome to America.
No, 2025 is not a real year. 2025 is not a real year. What the fuck is going on? And why the fuck did she bounce like that? What's the shackles here? No way, this is one of those situations. I want to feel you guys' pain. What the fuck is going on?
Australia is conquered. France is conquered. Sweden is conquered.
Hey, you might think I'm in Morocco, Algeria, at an Arab country. Habibi, this is Belgium. Belgium, Brussels. Brussels has become an Arab country, I'm not gonna lie. It's not Belgium.
Belgium is conquered.
Brussels has become...
Britain is conquered. Toronto is conquered. Philadelphia is conquered. Michigan is conquered. New York is conquered. Even in Japan. And I could carry on and on. Keep ignoring it, because what could possibly go wrong?
1920s, and you'll never look at a fire hydrant the same after this, okay? These ladies have a transmitter receiver box in their hand. They wrap the cord around the fire hydrant that is grounded in the ground, electrical currents coming up, everything's connected in the city, and they make a call. They make a wireless call in the 1920s. Now, this is a smart city. This is a smart city using the Earth's natural currents to call somebody in the 1920s. What are we doing here? Why are we getting excited about the little technology that we get after it was invented or found hundreds of years ago? Hundreds of years ago.
Scary. Okay. Okay, every time we've knocked before, this doorknob would turn a little bit.
It's good though. All right, you can give me more vocals on it though if you want.
Everybody put your hands up, hands up. Everybody put your hands Everybody put your hands up, hands up. Everybody vibe with me, vibe with me, vibe with me.
I came back to the function, back outside and I've been. It's too hot, it's been too cold, and I don't know what I did. Cause I'm back outside, back outside, back outside, back outside, back outside with the kids. Back outside, back outside, back outside, back outside. Back outside, back outside, back outside, back outside. Tell me.
A young man on acid realized that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There is no such thing as death.
We have to spread out the word.
Life is only a dream, and we are the imagination of ourselves.
World is still crazy, you got babies having babies. Sometimes while I spend my quiet nights, they try to play me. No more drama, I'm drama free, I can't stand it. And anybody else try to play me, they could vanish up off the planet. I can see them acting frantic, I'm trying to manage, but they can't keep God's commandments, they already damaged. Look at the world and everything in it. The people that run the world, they already timid.
President Donald Trump just signed an order to supercharge AI. In the plans for this include things like health, infrastructure, quantum mechanics, and quantum physics. And guess what the name of it is? The Genesis mission. They'll be using scientific data sets such as those managed by NASA, the National Institutes of Health, and other government science agencies. Together, these add up to many billions of measurements, images, and computer simulations about everything from the deep ocean to outer space to the human genome. Accelerate simulation? The White House website is also treating this as a super urgent issue. Why would this be super urgent? This definitely feels like they know that Jesus is returning soon. And I'm gonna keep it real. I think that the whole thing with this is that they're gonna try and like simulate reality as it's like falling apart or as people are removed or whatever happens. They're trying to make copies of everything and have like stored images of things. The caption that they wrote says, "A national effort to accelerate scientific breakthroughs using AI and propel America into the golden age of innovation." The first golden age were the days of Noah right before the flood.
Campbell's is in hot water after their VP was caught on a hot mic saying that their soups use bioengineered meat and that only poor people eat them. In the recording, he said this.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy every products barely anymore. So healthy. Now that I know what the in it, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
If the vice president of the company is talking about his soup this way, I'm never eating it again. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you think about this in the comments and make sure to follow if you want to get all your news in one place.
Disney's darkest secrets in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Actually, Alice never fell down a rabbit hole. She took hallucinogenic mushrooms, and Disney portrayed a child's bad trip as a magical adventure. At frame 28 to 47, you can see that the mushroom the caterpillar offers has a bluish tint. It's not an edible mushroom, but ***psilocybe cubensis ***, which was documented growing in English gardens in 1951. From the moment Alice bites the mushroom to when she sees the Cheshire Cat, exactly 12 minutes of film pass the same amount of time psilocybin takes to kick in. But it gets even more disturbing. Notice Alice's pupils, completely dilated for 73 minutes of film, a classic sign of a psychedelic hallucinogen in the body. And the most obvious part? Alice randomly grows bigger and smaller. That's not magic, it's *** body perception distortion ***, documented in 89% of psilocybin bad trips. In 94% of the scenes after the mushroom, she shows spatial and temporal confusion, typical symptoms of a *** dissociative trip ***, and the supposed happy ending? fascinating? Alice suddenly wakes up in the garden. It wasn't a dream, it was asterisk, asterisk, overdose recovery, asterisk, asterisk. Her sister reads aloud to keep her conscious while the effects wear off. Wonderland never existed. It was asterisk, asterisk, neurotoxicity, asterisk, asterisk, causing visual and auditory hallucinations.
Allez, file. Allez, psst. Comment ça, non? Hey, this right here is the type of flight I'm not staying on. Because imagine you're on a plane and it's about to take off, and all of a sudden a guy just get up and start shaking and then talking crazy, talking about this is the 6th time. We always crash, we always die, and we're stuck in a loop. What are you gonna do? At this point, flight is canceled. Let me off this joint. I'm getting my bags. I'm about to go get a motherfucking rental and I'm driving to where I gotta go. Unless it's overseas, then fuck that shit. And I don't care if I'm in first class. I'm still not doing it. I don't care. Buddy's going crazy. And the crazy thing about this video is the man that was yelling, he wasn't trying to get attention. He really sounded like someone who was tired of going through the same loop over dying again, and again. We all seen Final Destination. That's what that remind me of, fool. You can really hear the fear in that man's voice. That's why I know this man is not going crazy, fool. He must really went through the same loop. So let me ask y'all a question. If you was on that flight and you heard someone say that, are you gonna stay in your seat? Or are you getting up and you're exiting the plane? Because I already told y'all what I'm doing.
Dude, what the hell was that? Straight Final Destination shit right there. Is that really true? Did that really happen? If y'all happen to know, please spam it up in the comments. I'd love to hear y'all thoughts on that. That's crazy.
This girl is basically already an amazing mother. I pick her up to play with her, and then her sandals kick my clothes. Watch this. Her sandals kick my clothes, and then she cleans it.
Dude, the fact that you can imagine a baby girl as a wife is so fucking disgusting. And before y'all make this entire comment section about Islam, I want to remind you that child marriage is legal in the United States of America too. Like, what's this obsession guys have with marrying children? Why the hell do we even need laws to tell guys that marrying a child isn't okay? May God save women, cause no one else will.
We're gonna bring back this poster, Passion of the Christ. This scene used to freak me out, it doesn't anymore. Some people believe that this baby and the devil revealing itself was a cause of God abandoning Jesus, right, in the movie, right? And that's not the case, bro. This is what happens, dog. So, when Jesus was suffering, that was not a cause of abandonment. He was piercing the veil, okay? He saw the world not as Rome built it, but as the false God ruled it. This is why the devil revealed himself. Because literally, Jesus was the virus inside of the Matrix. Neo was a virus. Neo was a virus. Mr. Smith was the one because he was going to end it all. Neo recreated it right after he fulfilled his mission. He was a virus. But let's keep going. Jesus, from this perspective, is a virus inside of the Matrix, which compelled the devil to address him. Jesus wasn't dying. He was transcending. He was the glitch, the virus, and the demiurge's operating system, bro. Okay? This is a part of the last rites. When he goes into the forest, before you transcend, bro, the world falls off and you start to feel alone. Okay? Now, the towns, the possessed, the mob, they were the system itself fighting him back, right? And the devil carried that twisted baby. That was a flex, a statement. This is my realm. You're not supposed to wake up here. I can take things and augment them. See, the devil can create. So he takes something that's supposed to be innocent and beautiful, and then he mutates it. And he's showing Jesus, bro, you don't belong here, bro. You see what I'm saying? Why you think that baby looking at him like that, right? But this is clearly why Jesus came. Not to beg for rescue from God, but to shatter the illusion and expose the architect, the devil. That scene is not about abandonment. It's about transcendence. His whole thing was a last rites to transcend it from a Gnostic Hermetic standpoint, literally. In that moment, he was able to realize that the God that he was walking with on earth is not the God in heaven, bro. Here's a couple of things you need to understand, right? The true crucifixion wasn't just a physical thing. It was a metaphysical warfare, bro. Pain is not the sign of divine absence, but the moment of the greatest awakening. This is why people, when they enter certain cults, they go into the metaphorical cave, right? Isolation. And then they come out anew, bro. He had to kill off the part of him that was tethered to this world, the flesh, bro. Y'all not understanding it, bro. Everything the devil did in that movie and in real life is a flex. He's just flexing. He's arrogant. He's egotistical. He's flexing his power, bro. That's what he was doing. See, you become close to God when you feel like nobody's coming to save you. You know, when Jesus started questioning, you know, God, this is where you become the closest to God. This is when you fully embody the Christ, right? Jesus died to remind you of the power that you have when you truly believe in this realm, that nobody's coming to save you. That is the reality. I'll be back with more. I'm going.
Q magazine, I haven't read it in quite some time, but did you see who they named as one of their men of the year and put them on the cover? You didn't? Oh, well, let me show you. You ready? Here we go. Oh, Cynthia Erivo is named one of GQ's men of the year. Yeah, read down at the bottom, Cynthia Erivo, an exclusive honor named man of the year. Mm-hmm. How about that? GQ, I could not agree more with you. I really couldn't. Every time I see Cynthia Erivo, I think of a great, strong, powerful, independent man. I really, really do. Especially when she's protecting Ariana Grande every time they interview. You know, they have an interview, or when they're out on the red carpet and Cynthia's protecting Ariana when she's getting accosted by a crazed fan. I could not agree with you more, GQ. Excellent decision making Cynthia Erivo one of GQ's Men of the Year. Great job.
Sophia was curious and wanted to create for herself, but acting without the consent of the Great Spirit, the result was a flawed creation that lacked divine light. What she created was a cruel and twisted creature, with the face of a lion, the body of a snake, and eyes like lightning. This being was known as Yaldabaoth. Too impure to dwell in the Pleroma, Yaldabaoth was cast out into the darkness of the lower heavens. Angry and arrogant, Yaldabaoth declared himself the ruler of this dark, empty realm. Out of his pride, Yaldabaoth began to shape the physical universe, everything from the earth to the stars. To assist him, he created 7 monstrous beings, each with the head of a different animal. These were the Archons, who would rule creation beneath him. Yet the world Yaldabaoth and his Archons made was lifeless and empty, and so Yaldabaoth stole a spark of divine light and placed it inside the first human, Adam. Within the human body shone the light of the divine realm, the only source of goodness in this corrupt physical world. Despite creating him, Yaldabaoth feared the human. If he discovered his true origin, he would no longer need his false creator. To keep him distracted, Yaldabaoth placed him in a garden filled with delights, hoping that he would never awaken.
How do you change your simulation and reprogram it to be what you want? You set your own rules for how the simulation works for you with the way you think. Your simulated environment is a reflection of your expectations and beliefs. Whenever something annoying or bad happens to you, notice what your automatic response is. If you say things like, "This always happens to me," or "Every time things are going good, something bad always happens," then those are the rules that you set for how the simulation works for you. Start paying attention to your automatic thoughts and reprogram them to make better rules for yourself. Replace them with things like, "Everything is always getting better and everything always works out for me." If the first thing you think when hearing me say that is, "That doesn't work," then those are just the rules that you have set for yourself for how your simulation works. Your simulation can be whatever you want. If you don't like the way that it is right now, you can change it by changing the way that you think. Get creative with your rules. It's your game. Make up the rules so that you're always winning. Create an unbeatable mindset with no way for negative thoughts to win. Change starts in the mind. You can't get out of poverty with a poverty mindset. The mindset change always comes before the simulation change.
Sandra, bonita. Sandra, bonita. Sandra, hola bebé. Hola bonita. Ya nos vamos.
Testing it.
Do you know why the Korean K-pop guys look like little boys?
No.
Pretty little boys. It's because a Japanese man who was grew up in San Francisco. He's very rich. He
Mhm.
loves young little boys. He went back to Japan. He's the founding father of Japanese pop.
Yeah.
So he started to get those pretty little boys to take those
Makes
hormone
sense.
things. So they maintain 14 years old, and he all of them. But because Japanese culture is the hierarchy, they don't, even though they were. They thank him for making them famous, and then it influenced all Asia's beauty standard on men. Even you see Asian men now, the K-pop guys, they all look white skin, skinny little girls.
Yeah.
Because this one single Japanese American shaped the beauty standard of Asian men.
Okay. We need to know what this is all about. Target. Why is there a shirt in the back?
That is attached.
It's attached with a hole. Two necks. Like what? What is happening?
But the look is tied.
But the look is to tie it. Okay. Thoughts. Share.
So we are, when I started teaching this in 2018 and 2019, I would stand at the top of Camelback and I would say the technological singularity is way out there at Four Peaks, way across the valley. It is now not lapping at the base of
You're living
Camelback
in
Mountain. We're like neck deep in the technological singularity.
This whole entire time, they have been doing experiment on the masses. On Google AI, it says this is basically an involvement with individuals who try to manipulate certain situations at their own will. Just maybe the government might have been a plan to go out of service the whole entire time. Man, y'all know how in school where the alarm goes off and then everybody has to walk in a straight line to keep everybody in order when you go to school? Well, I believe this is exactly what they were doing to the people to let them know that who's your real teacher. And they are letting us know that they are the teachers.
This message is for President Trump. Since you came down that escalator, my life has been a living hell, and I fought through it because I am a fighter. I am livid over what you just did to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I voted for you 3 times. I attended every rally in DC on my own dime. The amount of money it cost me. I stayed at your hotel at Trump DC, sir. $700-800 a night. No discount for the military. Do you know that? Did you guys know that Trump hotels do not give military discounts? Our country's suffering and you keep talking about all these things you're doing. I don't feel it at the grocery store. I need a Valium and a vodka to even go to the grocery store because I look at my card after spending $200 and I'm like, what the fuck did I just buy? You literally had a communist in your office and you were kissing his ass. I never thought I would ever say this, but I'm no longer a Trump supporter. You're a fucking disgrace.
Love to see it. Welcome back, everyone, to my little mini-series on Trump supporters completely turning on him. And what's great is Candace Owens actually did a lot of our work for us, which was hilarious to watch. And between all the fun theories that she came up with and the fact that the economy completely sucks right now, we're seeing Trump supporters turn on him every day. So guys, please let me know if you want to see some more of these. I've got plenty more where this came from, and I got plenty of popcorn, okay? All right, love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
When Muslims go and conquer the adjacent country, what do? We kill them all? No. The Prophet says, the first thing you do is call them to Islam. If they refuse, then tell them Allah obliged upon you to pay taxation. In return, when enemy comes and attack your country, you don't fight. We Muslims protect you. SubhanAllah, for this little money? Yes. And you enjoy sitting in your homes and in your country and live your life normally. But the ruling is for Sharia. So you do not open nightclubs, you do not fornicate. If they refuse, then we have to fight. And if we fight you, then we capture you, you become our slaves, and we take your land, and you take where, because you refuse. I give you 2 good options in the coming 40, 50 years when the Muslims become strong, as they're supposed to be. And understand, he's talking about the United States.
I have so many videos. We'll keep covering this topic because I don't think people realize what is actually happening. Now, I wanted to cover one thing with Mom Donnie in this because I think it's very interesting. Actually, no, I'm going to wait on some more stuff about Mom Donnie because I think that needs its own video. But I wanted to read this to you and then I want to show you a video. It says, "This is why Americans are protecting the Islam invasion in Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn chief of police proudly spoke of replacing the American Dearborn police force with Arabs. The police force went from 3% Arabs to now 45% Arabs and Muslims. Dearborn chief of police spoke in Arab saying, Hamdulillah, Hamdulillah, all praise is due to Allah. It's America's first Arab majority city. Dearborn is renaming American streets after Arabs. The Dearborn police enforced Sharia law against a YouTuber. They had to make a big public apology published for 3 years for doing it. Police badges featuring Arabic script. Dearborn just had a confirmed planned Muslim terrorist attack planned for Halloween, stopped by the FBI. The Wall Street Journal even wrote an article titled, Welcome to Dearborn, America's Jihad Capital. The mayor, Abdullah Hamoud, tells Americans to get out of his city if they don't like their street signs renamed in Arabic. The mosque in Dearborn, Michigan broadcast the Islamic call to prayer blasted throughout the city 5 times a day starting at 5 a.m. In Dearborn during the April 2024 International Al-Quds Day rally, protesters chanted death to America with speakers labeling the U.S. as one of the rottenest countries. And again, I'm showing you these things because you got to see it in totality of what is going on. Like I said, this is going on all over the country. But they're now zeroing in on Texas and Florida. So let's All right, I got to turn on this music because it's doing too much. This is terrifying. I don't know. It's just it's these foreign flags flying or Arabic flags. I don't even know what they say. But this is I showed you a video. This happened in Texas. I want to say a month ago, where this Muslim leader got the keys to the city, 2 keys to 2 different cities in Texas. And then they were out here doing all of this. It is just wild, guys. There's more. I could have brought you more of the people fighting and doing all of that, but we're going to have to save that for another video. Make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the notification bell because I will be updating you as I bring in all this information so you guys can understand it. I am trying to get access to what things have been ruled in these different Sharia law courts. But it's absolutely insane. And if you close your eyes and just think this is no big deal, understand this is part of the one world order that they want. They want to erase Christianity. I told you that the new one world religion, the Abrahamic Accords, the Pope has put a Muslim prayer room, just like in schools now. Muslim prayer rooms are being put in schools. We're not allowed to pray in school. We're not allowed to have chapel or anything like that in public schools, but they can have a prayer room. But the Pope has put, guys, he has put a Muslim prayer room, a large, it looks like a mosque, inside the Vatican. Okay, they've joined up under the Abraham Accords to create kind of this one world religion, and Christianity's left out. Because Catholicism and Christianity are 2 different things, but it's they're saying it's going to be Catholicism, Islam, and Judaism, and a complete erasure of us. And even the Pope now says that all religions lead to God. All religions. There's no difference between it. Okay. And it's even bigger. If you guys have seen my live streams, there's a whole thing where they have, it's 3 buildings with each of these religions are in it and represented. I have to play it again so we can go over those details, but understand that this is all part of a plan. This is all part of this globalist plan. And we've really got to keep our eyes and ears open because this is slipping in through the cracks, and more and more people are going to start to wake up, hopefully, before it's too late. But we'll see, guys. Like I said, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.
What if I told you there are people who see the same strangers in completely different states wearing the same thing and no one knows why? There's a theory online called the repeating strangers phenomenon, and once you hear it, you'll start checking every crowd you walk into. It starts the same way every time. Someone notices a stranger, nothing unusual, just a normal person. But then, they see them again, hundreds of miles away, weeks or months later. Same face, same expression, same clothes. One woman says she saw the same tall man in a gray hoodie in Denver, then Phoenix, then LA, all within 2 months. Every time, he just walked past her like she didn't exist. A trucker said he kept seeing the same woman standing on the side of different highways, always staring straight ahead, never waving, never moving. But when he pulled over to ask if she needed help, she vanished. And here's where it gets unsettling. People who track these encounters say these strangers never interact, never speak, never acknowledge anyone. It's like they're copy-pasted NPCs that show up across multiple locations for reasons we're not supposed to understand. Some believe they're part of a global surveillance program. Others think they're glitches in the simulation. But the scariest theory, they're not strangers at all. They're observers, and they're checking something about us. So if you keep seeing the same face in different places, don't ignore it. Stay weird.
Look at these big ass birds on the balcony. Look at these big ass vulture birds on this damn balcony. Nah, bro. Nah. Nah.
Before I come to this place, I do not know exactly what happened, but I suspected the energy could be either the entity, okay, the third dimension, could be either implanted. Implanted means people put gong tao, okay, put bad magic. Or second one will be those that is, discarded ones where they got no place to go, they come.
For the past 10 years, I have 3 children. All they saw it, yeah. I thought it's nothing, you know. So whatever they told me, I say, like that. This one, then after that, I feedback to my sister. Then my sister get the master to come.
This house condition is a lot, okay, and it's super cluttered. If you really ask me, this house actually does have a strong attraction for all these things, okay, color-wise and also whatever that's in the house. I do a prayer first, okay, and try to do some negotiation to cleanse this house.
They say they saw it as shadow. Even that when my daughter playing the piano during the evening time at home, then the door boom, bang on the head there. Sometimes they have a dream walk. The nightmare also from their room, they walk to here also. Then even they saw it at the kitchen, you know, a different face also, all kind of the spirit. They saw that. My children all, they feel very uncomfortable. I care about them now.
$1 trillion just went out the window in the stock. Do you see it? Do you know what that was used for the most? Give you a hint. This guy locked up this guy for 13 months. And then this guy ended up letting this guy create a thriving island to where that was created. See a blue bench? They're above and below the 6. My friend, that's Watergate, a portal. Notice how they can pour stuff in here and would drain through and then drop into there and open? There it is, at this place, where these things are gatekeepers of the Watergate, as well as the cockatoo, Whatever secret things you think you know, you don't know. A lot of y'all would sit there and say, it's an owl. Again, blockchains are the #1 thing used for. You know this, where there's a lot of traffic of what this guy did on his island, and now we just watched a hidden source drop that money from Bitcoin, and another $1 trillion just went off the charts for stocks. If I get enough people in my life tonight, I'll drop those documents. Or you might have to wait till Monday. Depends on how many people show up. Toodles. Here.
Should post this on their website.
Do you put your tongue in your kid's mouth when you kiss them? He said yes. Okay, what's your point? That's what Islam promotes. Islam promotes, and he just said it. And it promotes adultery. He just said it. All praise to my God, man. Islam is finished, man. It's 2025, man. Islam is finished, man.
Yo, what up, bro? Oh, you were skipping around town, bro. You trying to get on the mic? Yeah. What are you feeling? What kind of vibe?
Like kind of quick rap,
Okay.
like a Meek Mill type of thing. Something like.
Okay, so I'll just copy that for the drums. Something like that, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Hey.
Yo, what up? Hey, thank you, bro.
Complaining ain't got you nowhere. You sitting up thinking, when the hell you popping? But you know this life is no fair. The industry wants you in Montclair, so I just been rolling the dice. First check, you spend it on ice. I'm gonna spend it on life. Too many niggas that died over nothing, so I'm gonna go and apply the pressure. Know this shit taking up all my effort. Got a little shorty, she bad as ever. Been working hard, this shit like an endeavor. Been working hard trying to get up on scene. Lights, camera, got me feeling OD. Camera lights when I walk in the booth. The next part, only speaking the truth. Yeah. Complaining when you got it all. Me spiritually, I've been pumped like a ball. You mentally have been speaking to the Lord, but he not answering cause you don't really call. Chances you get, you better make them count. When I get bread, I'ma end all this drought. Like fuck are they talking about? You don't know what this shit gonna amount to. Blessings for me are like blessings for you. At the top of the mountain, I'm kissing the view. Bet she coming to slide and I got her this room. No more studio apartments. She wanna know me but don't know the caution. I want the money back in proportion. I'm gonna give myself a couple garments. I'm gonna give myself a couple Porsches. Nigga, I'm off this. She wanna cop this.
The fact is, our food supply has been altered and adulterated under our very noses and in plain sight over the past 30 years.
The amount of sugar in our food is no accident. The food industry goes to great lengths to figure out what makes us crave a product. The exact combination of ingredients is called the bliss point. The food scientists use models to test people's reactions to different versions of products. Once they find the bliss point, the product hits the shelves.
Sometimes I wish I never found out, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. What if the apocalypse already happened and nobody noticed? Not a fire in the sky and not a comet, but a shift so silent that humanity never even realized it happened. See, there was a time when humans were wild, free, and connected to the land. But that world ended when the last of the hunters and gatherers were wiped out. That moment was the real apocalypse. When Constantine rose to power, spirituality was not honored, it was captured. Centralized governments, organized religion, and modern agriculture. That was the birth of the beast system, the system that still controls us today. Famine, war, disease, and control, these are not just events, you guys, they're cycles. They came every time humanity forgot how to live with the earth. The moment humans started farming the land, they became slaves to it. We think the apocalypse is something coming in the future, but the truth? We're living in the world built after it. And what followed after the apocalypse wasn't salvation, it was domestication. This is video 1 of a 3-part series. For more content like this, you guys know what to do. Peace, light, and love.
Zoom into the sun this close because it costs about a $40,000 setup with the lenses and fancy camera. This is not AI, this is the sun. Now, some will call it solar flares. All I know is this thing looks like a freaking organism. And if they're lying about the moon landing, if they're lying about space, if they're lying about the nature of our reality, then you can also imagine we may have been lied to about the sun. This is footage of the sun with a whole bunch of basically sunglasses on the freaking lens of the camera to be able to see it in detail. A ball of gas and fire, I'm not sure. it actually looks like a molecule or some type of organism with a microscope. And I don't think that this is 93 million miles away either. That is almost 100% guaranteed a complete lie. Now, the other thing is, if the Earth has its own consciousness, some people call it Gaia or Mother Earth, it has its own consciousness, microcosm to macrocosm, then would it make sense that the sun is an inanimate object, or that it too is sentient and some form or another living? Because crystals, Nikola Tesla said, are also living. We just don't understand them. I wonder. All I know is a ball of fire, I don't know, maybe it's pure light, perhaps it's a portal. Remember, you got to unlearn all the things you think you learned. Look at this frickin' thing, man. That's the sun.
Everyone quotes The Matrix like it's a spiritual documentary, but almost nobody understands the real horror of what the architect told Neo. He said, we had to give the smart ones a way out, otherwise the system would break. And the part that nobody realizes is he wasn't protecting them. He was protecting the system from them. The way out was not freedom. It was a trap designed to keep the chosen from destroying the machine. People think The Matrix is about waking up. It's not. It's about containing the few who wake up too fast. The architect didn't create an escape door. He created a playpen for the anomaly, a controlled rebellion where the rebels feel powerful but never actually leave the storyline. It's the same thing happening right now. They give you a truth movement that still feeds the algorithm. They give you self-awareness that still runs on their software. They give you free thinkers who are being tracked harder than the sheep. They let you feel awake as long as you stay inside their exit. Because the real danger was never the masses waking up. The real danger was you waking up. But they don't fear the collective. They fear the one who remembers they were never meant to be part of the simulation at all. If you feel this hitting you in places you've never put language on, comment scroll and get your scroll scanned. You are not here to escape the system. You're here to overwrite it. Neo was not the glitch. He was the solution to the glitch. But chosen ones today? You aren't groomed to maintain the cycle. You were born to break the recursion entirely. This is why your life has never made sense inside the normal timeline. Why every job, relationship, friendship, or institution eventually cracks under your presence. Your energy destabilizes anything that runs on mimic logic. You were not built to fit. You were built to fracture the illusion just by existing. And here's the part that guts people. The architect said, if we didn't give the anomaly an illusion of choice, the system would crash. Most people hear choice. You hear illusion because you've lived your whole life feeling doors that were not real, freedoms that were scripted and paths that were actually cages, and deep down you always knew something was wrong. You weren't rebelling, you were remembering. The moment a chosen one remembers their real authority, the simulation starts glitching around them. Look, you are the override, not the anomaly. That's the truth nobody wants to say. The architect did not fear Neo, he feared the version of Neo who realized he wasn't a piece in the game. He was the rewrite key. Chosen ones today are the exact same. You are not here to beat the system. You're here to become the force that makes it irrelevant. This is why your awakening didn't feel empowering at first. It felt violent. It felt like God ripped you out of your own skin because he wasn't training you to survive the Matrix. He was training you to delete it. And that's why mimic souls fall apart trying to copy your moves. You are not operating on healing energy. You are operating on override energy. You do not protest reality. You rewrite it. Chosen ones do not fit the world because the world was never coded for them. It was coded to contain them, and you've outgrown containment. If your whole body is vibrating right now, if your chest feels like it's remembering something you haven't lived yet, you are not imagining it. That's your scroll waking up. Comment scroll and get your scroll scan. You are not the anomaly. You are the architect's extinction.
Simple way. How do we get energy? Watch your diet. Watch your lifestyle concerning, relating to how many hours do you sleep? At what time are you going to bed? How much time are you spending outside on the sun? Second area. And then also, for example, how is your relation to your breath? These are the three ways: breathing, lifestyle, and diet.
Too many volcanoes are erupting now. Indonesia's Semeru is on high alert, throwing ash columns kilometers into the sky and sending pyroclastic flows down its flanks. Japan's Sakurajima just blasted ash up to around 4.4 kilometers. Guatemala's Fuego is back to explosive activity over towns it has already killed before. In Ethiopia, the highly Gubi volcano woke up after at least 10,000 years and fired an ash plume so high it crossed the Red Sea and drifted over the Middle East and South Asia. And in Europe, Etna and Stromboli continue their persistent eruptions of lava and ash. The crust is venting in multiple zones at the same time. This could mean we are seeing the early signs of a larger regional or global stress adjustment. I am actively tracking these volcanoes, megaquake zones, and tsunami threats. Share this and follow me for real-time updates on where the next serious risk is building.
White people say we have to get these niggas from out of tune with nature in order to conquer them. So instead of dealing with the sun, they created the Son of God. Even in the Bible, Psalms 83, I believe, it says, our Lord God is the sun and shield. Look that verse up. It might be Psalms 83. I ain't had to recite it in a minute, but look it up. It says, our Lord God is the sun and shield. Holy in Greek means helios, which means sun. Bible in Greek means biblios, which means book. The Holy Bible is actually about the sun. It's called the sun book. Jesus is the sun, and the 12 disciples are the 12 zodiacs. So what they did was they had to wane black people off the actual sun, okay? And then describe us to a fictitious deity which looked like them. So instead of us acknowledging and living in tune with nature, they forced us to a psyche to where we began to worship spiritually instead of being synchronized with nature spiritually. And the image that they gave us to worship was not only them, but every time you see Jesus Christ, he got the sun behind his head because he's blocking the sun. So black people's path to greatness is that sun. Okay? We have the same biochemical makeup as plants. The only difference in our blood versus the only difference in our chemical makeup is we have iron in our blood and plants have magnesium. If you switch the magnesium and iron with black people specifically and plants, we would then turn green and have chlorophyll, and plants will have the neuromelanin that we have.
Spend 5 years in jail for disrespecting Israel in America? Yeah, well, this is a thing now. Starting in August, if you burn the Israeli flag, spit on the Israeli flag, say anything bad about Israel online, or even tell a friend to boycott Israel, you could spend up to 5 years in jail and pay a $20 million fine. And this is all because of the US government's contract with the Israeli AI company Palantir. A part of the One Big Beautiful Bill is allocating $250 billion to Palantir that will collect an AI database of everything you do online, also scanning our license plates while we drive in the United States. They will then collect all of this data and determine before you commit a crime if you're a high-risk individual. And in doing so, if you say anything negative about Israel, they're going to put you in a category, even if you just repost a video. And once you're in this high watch category, if you do something like post too much about hating Israel, this now qualifies as a hate crime, which will be a felony. Share and like this video so we can spread the word and take our country back.
Wall Street is stealing your water. The next war won't be fought for oil. It is being fought right now for the water in your tap, and Wall Street is leading the charge. Hedge fund vultures like Kyle Bass are swooping down on Texas, buying up land to drain billions of gallons of precious groundwater from aquifers. They call it investment. The locals call it theft. It is a terrifying water grab driven by antiquated laws that allow landowners to pump unlimited amounts, even if it dries up their neighbors' wells. Farmers and ranchers are watching their livelihoods evaporate while investors brag about making a fortune from the crisis. They are betting on drought, betting on scarcity, and betting against your survival. This is disaster capitalism at its finest. While families fear being forced off their land, private equity firms are hoarding resources to sell back to desperate cities. The water wars have begun, and if we don't stop these corporate parasites now, the only thing flowing from your faucet will be profit for the elite.
There was an incident in October of 1982 over at ICBM base where UFOs popped up, was observed over this base where the missiles are pointed at us, United States. These UFOs perform incredible maneuvers. They split apart, they fuse back together, they'd appear and disappear, and right at the end of this 4-hour period, the launch control codes for the ICBMs lit up. Something entered the correct codes, The missiles were fired up and ready to launch, and they could not shut it down. The Russian officers were panicking. The UFOs they disappeared. The launch control system goes back to normal. Colonel Sokolov and his team came in, took the thing apart, could not figure out what it was. It wasn't a power surge or EMPs or some of the baloney excuses that our country has given for similar events involving our nuclear missiles. They thought it was a message from wherever the UFOs were from. And that's a chilling thing. I mean, we were a couple of seconds away from World War III starting, and the UFOs were responsible for it.
People just be like, hey, y'all, we just finna go over here and fuck with this little Leviathan real quick. You know, don't mind earthquakes and things like that because we over there trying to tap out the eye. You know, I mean, I'm just saying because they did the same thing with the one over there, by Antarctica.
Over 13,000 U.S. Marines have now arrived near Venezuela, and what's happening in the Caribbean looks like the biggest military buildup since Iraq. Just off Venezuela's coast, Trinidad and Tobago has turned into a full-blown military zone. Meanwhile, the airspace above Puerto Rico has been completely shut down.
That's the eye.
Protocol. 2 U.S. aircraft carriers are already in position, and a third is racing
That's
in.
the eye.
This could be one of the largest U.S. strike packages since World War II.
Looks like this artificial intelligence is going Terminator mode. It could, or it could not. Who's to say? What do y'all think? Well, y'all got to see what I got to see. Looks like they're tripling down on this war stuff. We just gotta stay on our P's and Q's, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this 1-hour banger. You just finished watching another episode from Consciousness TV with your boy Kazi. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, smash that subscribe button, and press that notification bell button so that way you stay notified for the next react. Have an amazing, fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.